This week I have so many deadlines. I'm going to have to prioritize. I think it's all going to come down to the power layout. Last week on the Lazy Scrapbooker's next big project, I spent 7 days and nights in Mexico on the Creative Memories incentive trip. After my flight home was delayed a whole day, I only had 2 days to prepare for my crop and the kickoff of my monthly Facebook event, Spring Scrapbook Sprint. And as I was completing pages on the project to use for this event, I even dusted off my very underutilized Cricut and made a title. Those letters really grew on me. And after some time away from the project, it was time to get reacquainted with my power layout that was already in progress. It's hard coming back from vacation. Hi, I'm Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker. Thanks for joining me on my next big project. We're going to plan, organize, and create a pair of scrapbooks to celebrate my husband and son's 15-day road trip, their baseball blowout. Do you ever have so many things to get done in a short period of time that you just don't know where to start and you just can't get started? That's where I am right now. So I'll try to prioritize. Today is Saturday and it's almost 5 o'clock. I've got Sunday, which is Mother's Day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then on Thursday, my 4-day retreat starts. So I've got to get busy prepping for that. But on Friday, I have to have ready this episode, and I have to have 2 new layouts ready and videos for my spring scrapbook sprint. And on Wednesday, I have to have a Savvy Scrapbookers video ready. I'd like to have everything ready on Wednesday so I can go and host the retreat and not have to worry about anything. So where do I start? I think I'm going to start with the power layout, like I said I was going to do in the last episode, because that will help me pick out the pages that I need to do for the other videos, and I can work on this power layout in the process. I think that's where I need to start. I'm struggling with which pages to use that I have laid out so far on my video, so that tells me I just need to lay out some more pages. So I'm coming in here to this room because the carpet's just more comfortable. And let's see how much we can get done on this floor space. As always, I put one of the power layout guides on the left and I put a traditional scrapbook page on the right. Now, if you don't use the traditional scrapbook pages like I do with the jeeping on the sides, then this is not for you. It may be best for you to completely use the power layout guides. You could put a single pocket page on the right-hand side. Here's where my power layout ended last time, and it's just this big stack of photos that I just left there because my class was over that I was teaching. Now, my outline says this event, which is this game right here, should have 2 pages, and that's 10 photos. So let me see if I can make that happen. However, it is starting on the right-hand side, which is kind of weird, but not unthinkable because that doesn't bother me as much. Let's see. Well, I don't know where I learned how to count, but that's not 10 photos, that's 11 photos. I think I'm just going to let this one spread out into a 3-page layout. Is that a thing? I'll have to ask Jeff, but I think this is the one game that was a rainout their whole trip. This picture kind of shows that, the clouds and then the tarp over the field, and the fact that there are no photos of anyone playing baseball. Yep, Jeff confirmed this was indeed the one rainout they experienced. I'm still going to do 3 pages, though. What was a bummer about that is that here's Nathaniel with a lineup, and it included player Taylor Trammell with this minor league team, and he was a player that Nathaniel had met at the gym where he worked out before, so he was so excited to get to see him play, but it was not to be. Next, I was really confused why on the same day I have a picture of Jeff in this red shirt and then in this Hartford Yard Goats blue shirt when he's not at the Hartford game. So I had to go ask again. So Jeff confirmed that that was just a selfie he sent me showing me his new t-shirt from a previous game. I guess I'll leave it where it is and just say, hey, it's a new souvenir. But I need to really stop interrupting him because he is upstairs making a pie for me right now for Mother's Day. I need to let that happen. So I've adjusted that from 2 pages to 3, and now our total has gone from 154 to 158 pages. Still doable. I know the albums that I did for Jeff were over 170, so still doable for 2 albums. Okay, now I'm ready to go to day 9. really glad I did these while I was at the advisor retreat in Chicago. So going through my power sort box, I have day 9 right here. So this is everything from day 9 right here. On my outline for day 9, it says I have 2 pages for the Yuengling Brewery, 1 page for the Red Caboose that they were staying in, and 3 pages for the Allatoona Curve. But then I also have that one first page for day 9, that opening page for each day. Maybe I switched the order and I put the Red Caboose there. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, let's look at memorabilia also. So I have the file mate, and I'm going to day 9. Got it. And it's even labeled. It seems like forever ago where we did this on the pool table. Okay, so there's lots of memorabilia. Oh dear. Okay, so here's my dilemma. I've got 2 pages for the brewery for sure. And I said it was 1 page for the caboose. I think it could be 2. This is where they stayed. It's like a hotel in a caboose. How cool is that? And they had this, I guess, as a cute piece of memorabilia that was there waiting for them. And then I've got 3 pages worth at least from the ball game that night. At least. There are 10 photos. I've got tickets. And then I've got this stack of memorabilia here. So let me see what I'm going to use. I've sorted it. This is for Yuengling. This is for the Red Caboose where they stayed. And this is for the game. This is actually for day 10. And then this is just a cool map that might be nice as background paper for some of this Pennsylvania stuff. That actually might work to put as the background for day 9. They were in Pennsylvania the whole time. I might use that. Now, here's my dilemma. Day 9 is starting over there on the left-hand side. And I know I say it doesn't bother me, but it kind of does. I've got 2 pages for Yuengling. Then I have 2 pages for the caboose. I said 1, but it's going to be 2. Then I have whatever I'm going to have for the ball game. I said 3. Who knows what it'll be? Probably 3. So that leads me back up here. I did 3 pages for a game that didn't happen. So I think I need to reel that in and make it the 2 pages so I can put this on the right hand side and start a 2-page layout with this right here. That seems to be the best bet. So this is the beauty of a power layout. So now I've got to go back here and I'll figure this out. Well, I figured it out already and it didn't take me too long. So back here in Scranton, they've got 4 pages for having fun in Scranton. And Scranton is the home of our favorite TV show, The Office. That's the city that it's supposed to be in. And so the city has embraced that. And there's so many sights to see and things to do that celebrate that show we love so much and consistently win trivia contests about. So I had a full page that showed him at Cooper's Seafood House, which is one restaurant that is mentioned a lot in the show. And so that place has embraced it. But then I have 1 picture of them at Alfredo's Pizza Cafe. And if you watch the show, you know this is the good pizza. That can go over here with that, I think. Then I've got 2 pictures that just don't really mean anything. They're in the room. That's where they checked in. I can either get rid of them or put them in a peekaboo pocket over here. But they come before the game. Or I could put them at the end of the night of the game. See, I'm really thinking through this. Okay, problem solved. I now still have a 3-page layout for the game that didn't happen, but I took those pictures from the hotel that didn't happen. I just moved them out of chronological order and put them in the evening with Jeff's selfie to me. So I may use some peekaboo pockets, but that's all good. And now I can come over here on this right-hand side and do page 9. So that was a lot of thought that went into this, but I hope that shows you the beauty of the power layout and how you really can rearrange your album as you need. And now I can do Yuengling on those 2 pages and the Red Caboose on those 2 pages, and they better be 2 pages each. Let me tell you that right now. Easy enough for Yuengling. The caboose is another story. There's so much memorabilia that I have here that I could make 4 pages out of this, but I'm not going to. If anything, I'll let Jeff decide if he wants to keep this where it can be seen. The map of the train cars is kind of interesting. It's got some information on the back. We can always put an 8.5 by 11 pocket page in the middle here. So I'll leave that up to him. But if I added a pocket page, that is counting as 2 more album pages in my count. 3 pages for the game, for the Allatoona Curve. Done. Easy. And that leads us to this right-hand side page, which will, of course, be
I just found these cute little pressed pennies in the bottom of the Power Sort box that has all my photos. So I'll need to put them in the Power layout on these pages, and I know I've got a little pocket that will be small enough for those. So this is on day 10, Harrisburg, and looking at my outline, and thank goodness I do an outline. It's so hard when it's not your trick. I see on day 10 we have the red caboose and Casey Jones, 20 photos for 4 pages. Wow. Then we have the Harrisburg Senators, a baseball game, 18 photos for 4 pages. Do we think I can get 20 photos on 4 pages with memorabilia? I'm kind of doubting that. But the good news is that a lot of that memorabilia for the red caboose, I thought was for day 9. It's really also day 10. They took a lot of pictures that day. They just checked in on day 9. So I can move some of that memorabilia over. So I just counted. There are indeed 20 pictures for the red caboose and Casey Jones restaurant and 18 photos from the game. I don't know why I felt the need to recount those, but I've been away from this so long, I wasn't really trusting myself, and it was right though. So now let's figure out what we're going to do with those. This one says Deep Blue Shimmer. I obviously use this for paper. These work great for dividers when you stick them up like this and you've got a little tab at the top. So right here on the right hand side I have my day 10, and I put this memorabilia, this piece from the travel guide about Harrisburg there to be in the background. Then we have our 4 pages for the red caboose. I've got them right here. Now I kind of sort them this way. First they have photos of them having breakfast in one of the train cars, which is really cute. Then the 6th photo back is this. It's just a photo of the red caboose motel. It says restaurant, gift shop, ice cream. So that needs to go on that page as well. So I've got 5 photos there. Then I've got this memorabilia. I'll have to ask Jeff about this. I think I am going to do an 8.5 by 12 pocket page. And so then I'll just finish placing these how it makes sense. Now, chronological order isn't always a thing that we need. This photo right here that's from day 10 is Nathaniel inside the caboose. Back on day 9, I have Nathaniel here in the bedroom of the caboose. I think I'm going to bring that other photo over and put it with this one. Much better. And that alleviates some of the stress of having 20 photos over here on 4 pages while having just 3 plus memorabilia on this page. Okay, I think I like this with the pocket page if needed for these. And I put more on this one because these 2 with him making cute faces from the caboose, I can certainly cut those down. Okay, 4 pages for this game. That worked out pretty well with 18 photos. I don't see any tickets for this one. I guess I didn't have the printed tickets for this one. I'm confused why the mascot says Mayflies while this is a Harrisburg Senators game. I might need to go ask some questions.
We forgot to tell you that the 5th inning is presented by Audi here.
I'm asking them this baseball question while they're watching a baseball game. So, what's the difference between the Harrisburg Senators and the Mayflies?
Mayflies is one of the alternate identities that play like 5 games a year. As the Mayflies, a lot of minor league teams are doing it. They just have special identities for certain games.
So apparently these minor league teams have alternate identities. And the Senators' alternate identity that they use, he said 5 times a year, the Mayflies. So at least I solved that mystery, and now I know all those pictures did not get mixed up, and they're in the right place. Now we're on to day 11. And my outline tells me that I need 1 page for the start of day 11 and then 2 pages for leaving red caboose. But I think I've just done them in 2 pages instead of 3. Now it's on to the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum. And I have stated I will need 4 pages. I've got this piece of memorabilia, but it's not the whole thing. I just had Jeff go through the Pennsylvania travel guide and point to things that we'd want to include. Oh, but wait, there's more. I think these are just general pictures of them when they're traveling. I probably need to go ask because now I need to put them here. I just think it's time for a peekaboo pocket for this one. Maybe one of the 6 by 12s that extends the page out. I think I'll have to do that. I had 15 photos for this railroad museum they went to. So I've done 4 on each page, and I did 3 on the first page because I've got the memorabilia, and that's likely where I'll put the journaling. Wilmington Blue Rocks game, 9 photos, 2 tickets, 2 pages, I said. That doesn't sound right. I think this was going to need to be 3, and then the right-hand side is going to be the start of day 12. This room's full. Okay, I didn't use my space really well, so I can either go over there or I can go to the pool room behind me. Okay, nobody moved. I was going to the room behind me and I was taking out the ring light and I tripped over something and it's the power sort box. So I think it's still intact. I'm going to pick it up with my hand underneath it. Wow, that could have been a disaster, but I think everything's okay, just a little disheveled. So I'm going to set up in here in the pool room for days 12, 13, 14, and 15. I'm really in the home stretch here. I need to go grab some pages because I'm out of the traditional scrapbooking pages and I've just got plenty of the power layout guides left. But I think what I'm going to do, considering what all I've got going on, I'm going to finish this power layout just for the photos. I know it's ideal and I know from experience that I need to do the papers, but I just don't have time for that. I need to have it stay here on the pool table on the floor for a little bit while I pick out the pages that I'm going to do for the other videos that I need, my Spring Scrapbook Sprint 2 layouts and my Savvy Scrapbookers video. Get those done, then I'm going to pick up the power layout and put it all in the box. Then it'll be time to start getting ready for my retreat, which will take all of my time between now and next Thursday. And then when I'm back from my retreat, I've got time to pull the power layout back out and start selecting papers. I can do the pages as they come and select the papers at that time, but I learned last year on Jeff's project, his albums, that takes so much time. So I know what I need to do and I have a plan and I'm feeling much less overwhelmed now. Of course, the real question is, will I have enough in my power layout ready for me to work on at my retreat? I think so. I've got at least 15, 20 pages ready with papers. Trust me when I say that that is plenty. If I were not hosting, no, it would not be enough. But hosting this 4-day retreat and doing everything I need to do, it's work. So I don't have a lot of time to work on my own albums. It's pretty much just me. If I want to stay up late, like till 3 in the morning scrapbooking, which I will probably do 1 or 2 nights, then I'll get some pages done. Also, it's almost 6 o'clock and I am really hungry. So when I'm done with these last pages, we gotta eat something. Day 12 is so easy so far. I've got that opening page on the right-hand side, and then I've got 2 pages for Around Camden Yards and 2 pages for the Babe Ruth Museum. Then it's time to start on a Major League game they saw, the other one besides Boston, which was the Baltimore Orioles. But my phone is now down to 4% and I'm hungry, so I think this is a good time to recharge both my phone and myself. I just went to plug my phone in and I had a text from Jeff. He texted me a screenshot that said, the Asheville Tourists, a minor league team, just unveiled their new alternate identity, the Snot Otters. He's not making this up. It's real. It's on the minor league baseball webpage. So alternate identities, that's a thing. So it's much later this same day because we waited to watch the rest of the Braves game. Well, they did. And it went, 11 innings? 11 innings. And then we went out to dinner. And now Jeff has agreed to help me with the remainder of the power layout. Not sure what he can do, but he has already helped, and here is why. He doesn't know why. Because I said I have 17 photos from the Baltimore Orioles game that I'm getting on 4 pages. And then he just looked at these, and I've been struggling to get everything on these pages. He just looked at this in my hand and he said, well, you don't have to use them all. Those are basically the same photo. So are they? But I totally get what he's saying. The background is different, but it's them. It's the same thing, sort of. So I've got to get on board with that and realize that even though they took them and even though I culled so many photos and we agreed on the ones I was printing, basically, we can still get rid of some at this point if we need to. So that's kind of hard to hear, but it's kind of liberating to hear. You don't have to put everything in the album, even though you've printed it. And this guy has the zoomies and is being a little adorable terror. So day 13, Udvar Hazy, what is that?
It's the Smithsonian Air and Space Annex at Dulles Airport.
You took 82 photos and we culled it down to 31 at first, and then I ended up ordering 29. So that we culled a lot. You had 82 of these.
Well, you have one with Nathaniel and a mailbox that looks like R2-D2.
How could I not print that? So we have 29 to put on 6 pages.
I think you bring too many.
We agreed on this in episode 2 or 3. You don't want them in there.
No, we're saying, I mean, like one picture of me and Nathaniel with the space shuttle, there's at least 2 of those, if you need the space.
Okay.
If not, put as many as you like.
Okay. We're on day 14 now of the power layout, and I just pulled out the last large memorabilia. So this guy is completely empty, and he can go on to a different project now. This here, you are looking at the last page of the power layout. It's when they got home. So, and I've got it on the right-hand side, so you know what that means. If this page is the right-hand side, you're gonna flip it over and there's gonna be a left-hand side. So I think what I'll do is I'll make this a single pocket page, scrapbook on one side. On the other side, it can hold any additional memorabilia that I haven't put in here. And if there is none to do, we'll just include more journaling. I don't know how many pages this is. I lost count if I added a couple here and there. And the reason why is because it didn't matter at this point. It did not matter. I'm around 160 probably. That's a great number. That's 80 pages per album. That's 40 sheets per album. That's what I used to say was the max before Creative Memory says you could have 3 packages of 16 sheets per album. 40 was always the max back in the old days. So I'm pretty happy with this. That's about where I am. Now, what I'll do next is I'm going to leave them here just tonight. I've got to pick them up because Nicholas has been jumping on them, sliding, knocking photos out. Just insane. So I'm going to have to pick them up. But I need to go around and see which ones I'm going to do for my videos that I have to make that I've been talking about. Get those done out of the way. And then I'll pack all this up tonight and put it back in the box. An empty power sort box. It served its purpose nicely. Good job. I've identified the 2 pages that I'm going to use for the Savvy Scrapbookers video. And oddly enough, they're not adjacent in my album, but they match each other, so it's going to be okay to teach the layout. For one of my spring scrapbook sprint layouts, I was going to use one of these 2-page layouts for the Railroad Museum. And I said, I have the perfect paper. We had 3 packs, planes, trains, and automobiles. Let me go get that. Planes and automobiles. No trains. And now remember, when we came out with this 5 years ago, I said, I need the planes, I need the automobiles, but when am I ever going to be on a train? Didn't think about a museum or the road trip that would happen 4 years later. I found a great alternative. From 2022, we had Wanderlust, and it's actually got a lot of better train things than Passport to Success has. It'll be great. I've selected 2 out of the 3 layouts for my video, and I've got 1 more to go, but I've already changed my mind about the first one for the Savvy Scrapbookers. I am going to do 2 adjacent pages because I think that will turn out better. So I fixed that. Now 1 more to select. My selections are made for the 3 videos I have to do. Now I just need to create the layouts and make the videos. But first, I think I need to pick all of this stuff up, like I said, off of the floor and get it safely in the power layout box. Or I know tomorrow I'll regret not doing it. Okay, I'm almost out of breath from doing that because I was bending over the whole time and I think the blood rushed to my head. But I've got all the remaining pages picked up. And here they are, top to bottom. It is the next one, and the very last one's on the bottom, of course. And I'm going to close this up and be done with that for tonight. Now, the only thing that, of course, is missing from this power layout are all the papers and embellishments and stickers and things like that, and lists of punches that I'm going to use. Like, that is ideal. But I was out of time. This was the best use of my time. The best thing for this particular situation, which you may have to do when you're doing your own power layout. But ideally, I would go ahead and pick out all the papers now. Just couldn't do it this time. But I think I'll probably end up doing what I did last time with Jeff's, is pulling out 20 pages at a time, sitting down on the floor and doing the papers and the stickers. But for now, this big stack right here will just have to do. Ready? Ready? And look at that mess. Wow, I feel so much better after spending that afternoon and evening working on the power layout and getting that completed. Now, I realize I still have to go back and choose papers, but I just didn't have the time for that now, and this is exactly what I needed to do to keep moving forward. I'll be able to easily complete my videos for my Spring Scrapbook Sprint, both layouts 5 and 6, and I'll be able to do the Savvy Scrapbookers video because I was able to visualize everything I had available to me. I like to include pictures for those, and choose them, and then keep moving forward. And now my power layout's ready to take with me on my retreat so I can get some pages done. So when whatever you're working on starts to become a little too overwhelming, it's just so helpful to sit back, look at everything that's going on, and prioritize. And if it's scrapbooking, it's usually going to come down to the power layout. So now I've got a few days before my retreat, but I have a game plan. Now it's just time to get to work. Thanks again for joining me on another episode of my next big project. We're kind of in the home stretch, I feel like, so I can't wait to see how this all turns out and when I actually get it done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Time to get busy.